So I've just seen these geese all over the place, so I thought, okay, that looks like fun to paint. So today I'm going to get my ducks in a row and we're going to paint them. So up there I'm just going to put the flowers, and I put some painter's tape down because I cannot paint a straight line, even if my life depended on it. So the blue is where the red line is going to be, and I'm just going to start out painting the white. So I'm just going to get my white. The white's mixed with about 25% water because my white is very, very thick. So if you put water with it, then it's also not so thick on your fabric. And I'm just going to start painting. Try and get a straight line up there. And I'm just going to paint in between the tape. Make sure your tape is down totally. Like scrape something over it so that it's attached to the fabric good. And this is gonna take forever. Let's get that line. Oh, I should have put the tape over totally across, but it's okay. I think I can paint a straight line if it's just one small one. I try and go a little bit away from the line, and then I work it up to the line. And just take the extra paint and work it up to the line. I will come back and fill in the middle later. This video is speeded up, so I do not paint this fast. The ducks are going to be white, so I can just go over their faces. I'm just going to go around the little beaks. It's not ducks, it's geese. I'm going to keep on calling them ducks because my ducks ain't in a row today. The geese. I'm just going to paint this down. I'm going to put some grass at the bottom. So I'm not going to go all the way down. Let's see. Okay, so now I'm just going to go get my sponge, put it in the water, squeeze it a few times in the water, and then I just squeeze it like twice, and when I take it out, so I get most of the water out. And now I'm just filling it all in with the sponge. This goes much quicker, especially if you have to paint a large. Yeah, the sponge is not totally gonna work. Yeah, let's see. Just squeeze it so that it's a little smaller when you go in between there. Yeah, I'm just putting a very light layer down at the bottom because I'm gonna put the green over it. I think that's it for that. Let's just smooth it out. Okay, so now we're going to go to our next step, which is going to be the flowers. And I'm just going to paint the flowers blue, and I'm just going to use my 3/4 inch paintbrush. Way there, I found it. So I'm just going to get some blue and some white. Just putting some white on my... Let's clean the brush a little bit. So now I'm just going to take some blue on my brush. And then I'm just going to tip like the tip of the paintbrush in the white. So I'm getting blue on. And now I'm just going to tip the one side, like the one little tiny tip in the white. And I'm going to make like little swirlies, like little circles. And then you can also just paint the whole thing blue and come back and then make the swirlies on top with the white. That usually goes quicker. These flowers are a little bit different than the one that I've shown you before. Need to get some more white here. The flowers. So they basically just like little petals with the white on the outside. Just want some kind of, and they kind of go over each other. So just the one side in the blue, the other side in the white. And you can always come back and redo a petal with some more white or some more blue if you feel like you haven't put enough blue on that one. Okay. Just keep on making some flowers here. I'm getting closer, camera closer so you can see better. Sometimes a little darker one in between. Yeah, I'm just gonna paint this line down here. Just paint it all blue and then do the flower. That might be easier. It's kind of hard to like make the flower so it doesn't go into the white. This way I know I don't have any fabric spots in between showing. Let's paint the whole one. See, once it's painted blue, it's just easier to come over it with the white and make the petals. And I'm still just putting the one corner in the white and not all of it. I never know what I'm gonna do beforehand. I just start painting. I maybe should have practiced this. But we basically just want a bunch of flower petals on here. It's almost looking like a hydrangea. And I'm gonna put like, the star is gonna be like a little white flower. Maybe this one I'll put it in the middle of the flower. That way it's gonna look a little different than the other one. You can decide which one you would like to make. Just trying to get as close to the edge as I can without going over. And if your brush gets too full of paint, just clean it off a little bit. I have to go back because this flower looks very dark compared to the rest of them now. The flowers, and let's take off this tape and see what's underneath. Oh, there's the ducks. If you wait until your white is totally dry, you can just move the tape and put it over the white. That way it would be quicker and easier to paint the red, but I'm not going to wait for it today. This looks very crooked in the top because my fabric is cut very crooked, but once I make the pillowcase, that crookedness on top will be gone. So now I'm just going to paint the red, and I'm going to try and stay in between the lines. So I usually start painting away from the line, and then I just move my paintbrush towards the line and just keep it flat and move the paint towards the, you don't want a lot of paint on your line itself because then it might bleed into the white. So just keep on going, just move it around. The blue is still very wet, so I have to be careful that I don't pull any of that into the red. And you can always come back and fix where you see there's like a spot of blue on the white. We'll straighten out that line later on. Okay. You could also make your lines not as wide as I did mine. If you want to make them smaller, you can. It's just a lot more work. Oops. Not so straight there. Need to fix that. Okay, so now I'm just taking a smaller brush and going around there just to make sure, because in between my brush is too big. Oops, I just dropped something there, so I'm taking a paper towel. So you just take a paper towel and try and pick up as much as you can off the red. You can also take something and just scrape it off. If like if you have something sharp like a blade or a cutting knife, you can just scrape it off and just try and get as much of that red spot off, and then I'll come back later and just put some white over it. So there, it's gone. But you can always come back again and again. That's all there is for now. So now I'm going to go up here and I am going to put the little stars in. I'm just going to paint small little flowers inside my petals, like in the middle of each flower. And all I'm doing is I'm taking the back of a paintbrush, I'm putting it in the white paint, and I just push down a few dots in the middle of each flower. And you just dot, dot, dot. I mean, some of them have 4 and some have 5 little dots inside. I'll come back with a small paintbrush and just fix it up. But you can see, like, sometimes if you push too hard on the dots, you might have like a little circle in the middle. So you just have to push lighter, but I'm pushing too hard. So I'll just come back with a small little brush and just like fill up that little hole. I'm trying to, like, you don't want them all to be in one exact row. So hopefully my flowers are like spread out and not all in rows, like it's a little different. Okay, now let's go paint the ducks. Let's get the white. Half of the faces and stuff is already painted. You just want to smooth out the line of this white paint now that you have here. Oops, maybe I should get a smaller brush. And I'm just going to paint the necks down. Let's get a smaller brush. This is like a 1/4 inch flat brush that I'm using now. This red's still very wet, so I have to be very careful not to pull it into the white. There, I pulled a little bit, but that's okay. I once had a friend who had geese in a yard as her watchdogs. I was too scared. Nobody would go into a yard. We would stand at the gate and call her, and she had to come out and come get us. Those things, if they bite you with those beaks, they're very scary. And they would make so much noise when there's somebody at the gate that they were like her watchdogs. There we go. All the way down. Okay, let's go to the beaks. I'm just going to use this yellow. My yellow is it's not a bright light yellow. It's got a little bit of orange color in. If your yellow's too bright, I would put a little bit of brown or something with it, so it's a little bit not so bright. And let's try and highlight this with some brown. Oh no, that's too much brown. Oopsie. Oh no, this is not looking good. I don't like it. Let's put some more yellow over it. Still not working. I'm just putting some white over the yellow now, because that brown made it too dark. I will come back and fix this one up. Let's do the next one. See if I can do better on this one. Now I'll have to put white in the center of all of them. Okay, now I'm gonna make this more like a mustard color. Let's do some finger painting. Maybe that will help. I guess their beaks don't exactly have to be the same. They're all individuals. You can totally just leave it the yellow color. You don't need to shade it. That should be fine, just like this. But now I have to make them all look the same. Can fix up that line a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just gonna paint some grass down at the bottom. Let me get my green. So you just hold your big brush sideways, start at the bottom, and you just flip it up. And then don't make, let me put some green down there. So you just flip it up and then make a few that flips the other way, so they don't all just look like the wind's blowing them one way. So they're just standing up all over the place. I'm gonna go over the neck here. And if you put the paint at the bottom, if you pull it up, if you look closely, you will see like there's like almost a line where I pull the paint away. That makes it also look more like the grass in the bottom. You see the line? If you don't like it, you can just take it away and just paint over it. You can also take the back of your brush and just pull it through the green at the bottom. So it will also like expose the white. Okay, so now I'm gonna paint the eyes. So I'm just using I think it's a 0 little round brush, and I'm just painting little ovals. Very little paint. The one eye looks like a kidney. I guess I'll make that one like that too. So now I'm gonna just use like a little, I use these eyeliner brushes if I want to make very fine lines. So I'm just gonna get some white on my little eyeliner brush, and I want to put like just a few, I don't know, can't call it hair because they have feathers, but a few out of place feathers up there. I think it makes them look cute, and I do it almost like the same as what I do with the grass. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm just gonna outline the ducks. You can put an outline up there, but we're just gonna outline the ducks. And I'm gonna use this little eyeliner brush to do that. You can wait until everything is dry and then use a Sharpie, like a black Sharpie, to do the outlining if you're not sure about painting it with a brush. But this little brush, like, it's very easy to paint. You just have to go get paint all the time because it's so tiny, it doesn't hold a lot of paint. So I just put it in the paint and then I kind of roll it around. My paint's getting so dry because I have the fan going. I've just been hot over here, so I have to keep on getting water. Okay. Let's put a few up there just to those stand out a little bit. If you use a very fine brush, makes it much easier. With lining, you also kind of have to look and see where you're going to paint before you put your brush down. That kind of puts it in your brain, tells your brain where your hand needs to go. Okay, so I'm putting some lashes on this one. I'm just going to make the two outside ones like female and the two middle ones males. Little smiley faces on the nose. And now for the eyes, I'm just going to finish this one so you can see. So I'm going to take my white and I'm just going to put a dot on each eye, and now I'm going to take the other side and I am just going to pull it up almost like an upside down comma. And that is the eye. And then maybe a little bit up there, and we can put a line down here for the beak, just while I have the white. So that's just what I'm going to do for all of them. So I'm just going to line, I'll give lashes to the two outside ducks, and the two in the middle is going to be the no lash guys. I can line very slow and spend hours lining. It's like I can't meditate, but I can do this. I think it has the same effect on me. Eyebrows, should I make them all the same? I don't know. And little smiley for the nose. There we go. Oh, and put my name down while I'm down, yeah, with the brush. Little dot, 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 and now we're just gonna make the upside down comma, just pull a little line up there. And those are the ducks. They're very cute. Okay, now I'm gonna try and line the lines of the flag. It would be good to wait, but I'm impatient. So I'm just going to use my big brush and I'm going to flatten it out as much as I can. And I like to use a ruler. So you can put your ruler down kind of on the line and then you just pull the line. But the thing with the ruler is you have to clean the ruler after each time that you put a line down. So I'm going to put a line down there and get more paint. Just put the line down. And now I just wipe the ruler with my paper towel. And just put a line. See, the ruler helps me keep the paintbrush kind of straight. So I can be very shaky. Clean off the ruler every time. Right over here, I can just put the paintbrush down. It's so short. Okay, now I have to turn the, I don't want my head to be in the way when I use the ruler. I just need to, let me see, where are we going next? I'm gonna come down. Yeah, I want this a little bit of a thicker line. But again, oops. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do exactly the same. Use the ruler. It also works. You can put the ruler down on the fabric, just don't move it around, and then pick it up. Clean it off every time. Let me just get these lines. You can also hold the ruler a little bit away from the fabric and not put it down on the fabric, and just hold it to guide you. Maybe you can see if I get closer. So the ruler is not on the fabric, it's just there to guide me. So I'm just pushing the paintbrush against the ruler. So just hold the ruler a little bit above the fabric, and I'm just holding it to guide my paintbrush. It's all wrinkled up.
I'm just making a straight line, and I'm gonna add a little video here. Just fixing up whatever I messed up. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel to see a lot more of my videos. And I went back the next day and fixed some stuff up, so I will add that video to the end of it. You can post your paintings on my Facebook group. So now we're going to add a video. So what I did is I went into the white, like up there, into the little white flowers, and I just put like a little blue dot on each one, so they have like a middle. And I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to straighten out my lines where they're not so even. You can also totally wait and not outline anything and come back with a Sharpie the next day and just draw all your lines with a Sharpie. Sharpies are permanent markers. They do not wash out. You could also use, like Tulip has a fabric marker, but I prefer a Sharpie. And put your stuff on Facebook in our free group so we can see what you're painting. And the line drawings, I just put the geese on one page if you wanted. Oh, yes, the tulip pen.